2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
In 1959, NASA was created, which did many great things such as accomplishing the Man on the Moon project. And after 3 years of space shuttles being sent up to space, NASA decided to send up a teacher in space through the Teacher in Space program. However, due to the lack of communication between the engineer and NASA, this led up to the deadly tragedy explosion of the Challenger in its 10th flight. The explosion impacted NASA forever, considering of the many changes that happened to the punishment army, Barbara Morgan, and the IS. Our progress in space, taking giant steps for all mankind, is a tribute to Americans' teamwork and excellence. Our finest mind, government, industry, and academia have pulled together, and we can be proud to say we are the first, we are the best, and we are so because we're free. President Reagan. Born in 1959, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, was established by President Eisenhower. The draft legislation was sent on April 2nd and was ratified on July 29th. The paper has small tweaks now and then, but it really hasn't changed law. Eisenhower thought that having a space program will help the U.S. have a clear view of the universe, would also help the government and the people. NASA was also created because of the tension of the Cold War between the Russian and the launching of spending. This statement makes clear the opportunity which a developing space technology can provide to extend its knowledge of the Earth, the solar system, and the universe. Space shuttles were designed to help transform the space frontier of the 1970s into familiar territories, easily accessible for humans and of war in the 1980s and 90s. Richard Nixon. STS-6 was the Challenger's first flight and successfully sent the first TDRS into space. The flight launched on April 1, 1982, and came back to Earth on April 9, 1963. During the release thought that before space shuttles, NASA was spending too much money because their way of sending humans into space were not reusable, but now with space shuttles, they will not have to spend as much money. Also, in the newspaper, the Billings Gazette, it stated that the space shuttle was the key to America's future in space. Challenger's second flight, STS-7, was to send 2 satellites into space, Index C-2 and Palaba B-1. Several major accomplishments were that in the career, Sally Ride was the first female American in space. We obviously think it's safe or we wouldn't be doing it. Astronaut John Young. In fact, I predicted Barbara Morgan would win and Christian McAuliffe would come in second. Christian McAuliffe was the winner of the Teacher in Space program. The process was that each state picked 2 candidates out of whoever applied to go on to the next stage of testing, which was different types of conference about various aspects of space in Washington, D.C. Then they chose 10 different candidates to go to Texas to do physical exam. After the testing was done, several NASA veterans met up to do more interviews with the 10 finalists. In the end, NASA decided to pick 36-year-old Christian McAuliffe as the winner of the Teacher in Space program. Christian McAuliffe, Francis Covey, Michael Smith, Alison Onizuka, Jonas Resnick, Ronald McNair, and Gregory Jarvis were the crew of SR-51 Hell, which was supposed to send the second tracking and data relay in the Spartan Halley spacecraft, which was supposed to take pictures of the Halley's comet and its closest spot to the Sun. Unfortunately, none of that happened. The mission was originally on January 22nd, but was delayed due to the cold weather. It finally got sent up to space on January 28 at 11:38 a.m. During the night of the launch, a rigorous cold glide all throughout Florida. Everything seemed good until Mission Control asked Kobe to go with shut off, but the shuttle exploded 73 seconds after liftoff, killing the whole crew at 46,000 feet of elevation. It is like getting a message your whole family was killed. Pearson. Death occurs every day of the week, but when it occurs right before your eyes, it is somewhat difficult to accept. Mettenbaum. And its job was to find the cause of the explosion, and it included Neil Armstrong, Sally Ride, Chuck Yeager, and Richard Feynman. The commission later found out that the space shuttle exploded due to the failure of an O-ring. It was decided that around 59 seconds, an 8-foot flame emerged from the hole, soon grew to be 40 feet. The flame erode at one of the 3 struts. When all 3 struts broke, the base of the booster choked through the external fuel tank, causing the tank to collapse and exploding the engine. NASA launch director recently told the Presidential Commission investigating the Challenger accident that they were not aware of the solar rocket's O-ring or a potential flight risk of the day the Challenger was launched, Reno Gazette. The Roger Commission also found out that NASA was aware of the potential failure of the O-ring. Several engineers, such as Bob Upton, had warned NASA about the possible failure of the O-ring in a teleconference. For instance, Laura Muller said module may launch next April. Even though the data is clear, politics and pressure made the flight continue. The Challenger's going to blow up. Everyone's gonna die. Bob Evans. The explosion of the Challenger disaster was many fundings. For example, the Associated Press asked kids and their parents for pennies and dollars to rebuild another space shuttle. The school district of Bath, New York, are also raising pennies to build another space shuttle. Pennies for Space rebuilds the spirit. Charlotte Gregory. Barbara Morgan, like Christian McAuliffe, is a teacher who applied for the Teacher in Space program and got into the semi-finalists and finalists. However, she didn't get picked to be the first Teacher in Space program, but she got to be the backup and McAuliffe couldn't go. Almost 21 years after waiting and tragedy of her own, such as the Columbia disaster, she wound up with a crew of STS-118 and successfully did the mission. Another long-term impact was the construction of the ISS. The ISS was built with 37 space shuttles flying, pressurized module, and other things. There's about 159 spacewalks from 1988 to 2001 to help build the space station. The ISS is helping the world today by doing things such as helping water purification worldwide, improving eye surgery, improving vaccines, and monitoring water quality in natural disasters from space. We are sitting here on the shoulders of giants. This space station is the pinnacle of human achievement and international cooperation. Chemitov. The space race had begun. Multiple missions have been sent to space. Following Challenger's 9th flight to space, NASA decided to send up a Teacher in Space, which is the Teacher in Space program. But the Challenger exploded 73 seconds after liftoff due to the lack of communication between flight directors and engineers. The explosion influenced NASA in many ways, including the Roger Commission, so many fundings, and Barbara Morgan on STS-118. Even though NASA did have some ups and downs, they led the Earth when no one had gone before. Christian McAuliffe's legacy is open-ended. Every teacher's legacy is open-ended. I know people will be looking at this and remembering Challenger, and that's a good thing. They'll also be thinking about all the people, teachers and other people, who have been working really hard and will continue working really hard to carry on the work that Christian was doing. Barbara Morgan.